As soon as you complete your application, it takes us 1 to 2 weeks to get a decision for you. So if you don't hear from us and you think it's complete, I always recommend reaching out to me because maybe we're missing a letter that you thought was submitted or the transcript didn't come into the right department. I always hate for people to wait weeks and weeks and realize that there was one gap of an application item missing that we could have easily filled. So you can apply for any semester. You can send things in piece by piece. We compare all of our applicants to the standard, so we don't collect 100 applications for the fall and take the top 50. If you meet the criteria, you're most likely going to be admitted. It's a holistic review, so the application team or the admissions team looks at your letters of rec, statement of goals, transcripts, everything that you give to us, they really dig into. Occasionally, they'll follow up with an applicant if they have a question, if there was a gap in a resume, or if they want to follow up with an interview. But we're usually in pretty close communication on where they're at and if there's anything that they want to follow up on. As far as the components go, so for the graduate degrees, this is the list. The certificates are a little bit lighter on the application, but this is for a master's of science or the MBA. The application form is online, and it probably takes 5 minutes to fill out. It asks your name and birthday and where you went to school and address and those kinds of details. We do need official transcripts from every school that you've attended. So graduate, undergraduate, community college, we need it all. The GMAT score, I'm going to come back to. That is the daunting piece of the application for a lot of people. We have a required TOEFL score as well. So this is the English language test. If your undergraduate degree was not from a school in the States, we would need to have either the TOEFL or the IELTS. And the minimum, usually the internet-based TOEFL is what is offered now, and that minimum is 88 out of 120. We also require 2 letters of recommendation, and these can be from whoever will best represent you. So it does not have to be a past professor and employer. We've even had managers have the employees that work with them write about them as a manager. So there's a lot of different perspectives that you can take for the letters of rec, and they can also be emailed to our graduate school. So it makes it pretty painless for the recommender. We also require a resume and a statement of goals. And the statement of goals, again, is a layer of the admissions team getting to know you and what your plans are, why you want to pursue the program, short-term, long-term, those kinds of things. We don't have a word limit. We don't have a minimum or maximum or anything like that. We just want to hear from the applicants and see what you're interested in doing with the master's program. So the GMAT, we also accept the GRE. It is an exam that's offered 6 days of the week. It's a standardized exam, but we also waive this for folks with significant and relevant experience. So a really good first step is to email me with a resume and a transcript, and it can even be a picture of a transcript. It doesn't have to be an official one. I send that to the team and they say, yes, the GMAT's waived, or no, we need the GMAT. If we need the GMAT, there is a route where you can also take classes as a visiting student, and if you earn a 3.0 cumulative GPA or better, the GMAT is also waived. So there's a few ways around it if you're interested. I took the GMAT. It's similar to the SAT or ACT. We also have students that take the GRE, and some people think one is easier than the other. So if you end up taking the exam, I would definitely look at both of them. I would also look at the admission requirements of other schools that you're looking at too. I always hate to say, we accept the GRE, and someone takes the GRE, but the other school that they might be applying to doesn't accept it. So do the research on that and make sure you're taking the appropriate exam. Significant and relevant experience, I get this question a lot, is fairly vague. For the MBA, what they like to see is typically 2 to 3 years of leadership managerial experience. For our MS programs, it's experience in the technical quantitative arena. So it really also depends what program you're pursuing. I always recommend, if you are interested in a semester, apply at least a month prior to that semester starting. So we have and we do receive applications the week that school starts, and we will do our absolute best to get those processed, but it's not recommended because I hate to have no cushion there if we need to follow up with questions from the admissions team. Did you have a question in the back?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are two ways to waive the GMAT.
Mm-hmm.
Email the resume and transcript or take a visiting class and then get like a 3.0.
Yes. So the visiting classes are what we call non-degree seeking. So you can take up to 3 classes that count towards your degree and go towards your master's program. If you get a 3.0 in 2 of the classes, a cumulative GPA of 3.0, that warrants the waiver. The non-degree seeking visiting student route is a really great way to go for a number of reasons. To bypass the test is one great one. For students that might have GPAs that are significantly below our minimum, it's a great way to show that you can be successful in graduate education and that graduate performance ultimately trumps the undergrad GPA. For people that want to start taking classes and don't have their application together, it's a really fast track way to get going, start in class without officially applying. The big disadvantage, I would say, of the non-degree route is you're not eligible for financial aid. And if you're part of a company we have a tuition discount with, you're not eligible for that tuition discount until you're an official student. So there's a couple cons, but there's a number of pros as well.